On October 17th, 2019, we celebrated the 40th anniversary of a very special event. Well, special for people like me anyway. In 1979, VisiCalc was introduced to the world as the first computer spreadsheet program. While spreadsheets have changed a lot since then, it was still an important achievement. And so now we celebrate October 17th every year as Spreadsheet Day. While there's a good chance you've never been to a Spreadsheet Day party, spreadsheets are a big part of data analytics. The sooner you make friends with spreadsheets, the better. Trust me, they'll save you a lot of time as a data analyst and make your job easier. This spreadsheet is one example of how an organized spreadsheet might look. In this video, we'll demonstrate some basic spreadsheet concepts for all of you who are new to this world. This might be a review for some of you more experienced folks out there, but it never hurts to practice what you know. Plus, you might still learn a new trick or two. I showed you this image earlier. Let's explore it further because it's a great example of the three main features of a spreadsheet: cells, rows, and columns. They'll be a part of almost everything you do in a spreadsheet, from making a simple grocery list to analyzing a complex data set. I use spreadsheets to manage everything from my own personal finances to the annual homecoming party my friends and I have every year. I'm the planner, so I use a spreadsheet to keep things in order, making sure we have everything we need. Speaking of keeping things in order, the columns in a spreadsheet are ordered by letter, and the rows are ordered by number. So when you talk about a specific cell, you name it by combining the column, letter, and row number where the cell is located. For example, in this spreadsheet, the word row is in cell D3. Pretty simple, right? Let's get started in an actual spreadsheet. You can complete all of these steps in just about any spreadsheet program. Let's get to know your spreadsheet a little better now. All right, we'll start with some basic operations. Keep in mind, as an analyst, you won't always create your own data sets, but for now, let's do just that. I'll click in cell A2 and type my first name in the cell like this. Next, I'll click in cell B2 and type my last name. Don't worry if your name doesn't fit in the cell. You can always make the columns wider if you need to. All you have to do is click and drag the right edge of the column until the name fits. Or you can also use the text wrapping feature, which will set cells to automatically change their height and allow the text in the cell to fit. To use this feature, select the cells, columns, or rows with text. Then use the Format menu to look at the text wrapping options. It is automatically set to allow the text to overflow out of the cell. But you can wrap the text instead, so all of the text is visible. The clip option will cut off the text in the cell, so only the text that fits is visible. There it is. We've added data. Now let's label the data. This is important for organization. Adding labels to the top of the columns will make it easier to reference and find data later on when you're doing analysis. The column labels are usually called attributes. An attribute is a characteristic or quality of data used to label a column in a table. You might hear them called variables, or a few other names too. All right, let's add some attributes to our data. I'll click in cell A1 and type the words first name. In cell B1, I'll type last name. We'll make these attributes bold so they stand out more. Spreadsheets can be really big, so you want to make sure your data is clearly labeled and easy to find. So let's make these attributes stand out. I can use my cursor to select the cells with the attributes. Then I'll click the bold icon to make the attributes bold. Looking good so far. Ready to add some more data? Let's start with some new attributes. First, I'll add a column for age by typing age in cell C1. Then I'll add two more attributes in the next two columns. Let's go with favorite color and favorite dessert. I'll make them bold too. And to fit the labels in the cells, I'll adjust the size of the columns just like before. Now keep in mind, there are more ways to adjust the size of columns and rows. If you have questions about using spreadsheets, a quick search online will usually help you find what you need. We've also included a reading with more tips and information about spreadsheets. Okay, let's get back to it. Now, I can add my own data to the dataset. I'll type in my age and favorite color and dessert in the appropriate cells. Next, I'll add data for 2 more people. We now have 3 rows of data. In a dataset, a row is called an observation. An observation includes all of the attributes for something contained in a row of a data table. In this case, row 3 is an observation of Willa Stein because we see all of her attributes in this row. So now we know spreadsheets let you do lots of things with data. You can store and organize data like we've done in this spreadsheet. But you can go even further and reorganize existing data too. Here, I'll show you how. Let's say we want to organize our data by age. There's a simple way to do that. First, we'll need to select all of our columns with data so that all of it gets reorganized together. Then we can go to our data menu. Here, we have some options. Let's select Sort Range. This will let us choose how to organize the column. Next, we'll choose A to Z, which will organize our numbers in order from the smallest to the largest. Now, we want to watch out for our header row, which is the word age, the attribute for this column. We'll check that box. This makes sure that the word age stays in place. All right, now we're ready to sort. Voila! We just reorganized our data by sorting it from the smallest number to largest. And as we go further, you'll discover lots of other ways to work with data in a spreadsheet, including functions and formulas. Let's finish with a quick example of a formula. You can think of formulas as one way of manipulating data in a spreadsheet. Formulas are like a calculator, but more powerful. A formula is a set of instructions that performs a specific calculation using the data in a spreadsheet. To do this, the formula uses cell references for the values it's calculating. Let me show you. Here we go. We'll click in the next cell in the age column. Then we'll type an equal sign. All formulas begin with this symbol. Next, we type average. This is the function we are using in the formula. We've briefly discussed how functions work before, but it's okay if you don't completely understand them yet. We'll take a closer look later on. In this case, we follow the function average with the left parentheses. Now, we can add the names of the cells where we find the data we're using. These are the cell references the formula will use to make its calculation. We'll start at the top with cell C2. C2 represents the value in the cell, in this case, 36. Then we'll add a colon next to it, which shows that we have a range of numbers in consecutive cells. Finally, we complete our formula by adding the last cell reference in the range, C4, and a right parentheses to end it. Then we press enter to perform the calculation. And there it is. The formula has given us the average age of the ages in this data set. We've just analyzed some data. We'll want to store the data for later use. In Google Sheets, a spreadsheet is automatically saved in your Google Drive. For Excel and other spreadsheets, you'll save them as a file. And now you know some basics for using spreadsheets. Once you're used to these concepts, you'll be able to learn even more about spreadsheet tools. It's a lot to digest, so feel free to rewatch and practice on your own. You can even make your own version of this spreadsheet with your own data. We'll work together in the spreadsheet soon as well. For now, good job for sticking with me through this. It'll be worth it.